Hi, I've just finished an arc that comes out on the 5th of March. So I've just finished it in time almost. And it's called Say Hello to My Little Friend by Jennine Capó Crucet. I think that's how you say it. The opening chapter of this novel really got to me. It's a long time since I read an opening chapter and I thought, wow, it just got to me. And it left me wondering what I was going to be experiencing as I was reading, because the opening chapter is the voice of Lolita, an orca who has spent many, many years in a aquarium in Miami. And she tells us the story of how she got there. And throughout the novel, we hear Lolita's voice as she tells us of her life, etc., etc. Anyway, the story revolves around Izzy, who is a young man who was brought to Miami when he was 7 on a raft, and he lives with Tia, his Tia, his aunt. And he grew up wanting to be a pit bull impersonator. Pit bull apparently is a rapper. Somebody. Yeah, I'm too old. But after getting several legal warnings, he's now decided that he's going to model himself on the Al Pacino character from the movie Scarface. He's going to model himself on Tony Montana. Scarface is a film I have never seen. So I did wonder whether, because there are so many references to Scarface, this would affect me when I was reading it, but it didn't. It didn't matter that I'd never seen the film. In the film, apparently, so I'm told, in the book, Tony has a tiger. So after a visit to the aquarium, Izzy seems to form a bond with Lolita, this orca, and so he wants Lolita in the same way that Tony has the tiger. He seems to, after going to this aquarium, he seems to have this connection. There seems to be a bond between them. And Lolita invades his thoughts. And we get sent in a direction that I didn't expect. At the same time, Izzy wants to find out more about how he came to Miami on a raft. Because he thinks that this could be a lucrative market to get into, getting people from Cuba to Miami. So he starts asking questions. He starts asking questions about the journey that he was on, what happened to his mother on the raft. He is asking questions, but he seems to be asking questions of the wrong people. And in fact, with Lolita's voice telling us about her and Izzy finding out about his journey on the raft, you do get taken to some very dark places. I'm just for the ending. I enjoyed the descriptions of Miami, place I've never been to. And particularly, I loved Lolita. I loved hearing her voice, even though some of what she was saying was really, really heartbreaking. And as for Izzy, I followed him on his quest to become Tony Montana. And it's almost a coming-of-age story, as he realises that when he's asking the questions about his journey, that the story that he was always told might not actually be the truth. And he begins to realise that what he thought was important actually might not be. And I followed him on this journey and ended up in a place that I just didn't think I was going to end up. Ever. I've never ended up in a book. It took me to an ending that I just never expected I would ever end up in, if you see what I mean. It's a book that led me to some very surprising places. Fascinating book. And you don't need to have watched Scarface at all, because the references in the book are they're very clear. If in one part there's a montage of Tony's successes sort of juxtaposed with Izzy's not quite successes. So you don't need to have seen the film. So Say Hello to My Little Friend comes out on the 5th of March. So happy reading. Take care.